Are you guys? It's been a while, and there's both of us.
It's been longer for me. So we both went on vacation back to back, which was really nice. But we did miss the lives. She did one without me, and then last week was just a little too chaotic to do a live. But we are back, and we thought we would just do like a traditional Q&A, nothing special. I do have a question from a previous live from a viewer that we never got to that asked us to go over it this live, so we'll be starting with that. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you just want to chat about some things, drop them in the comments. I'm not sure how long we'll be on. It'll depend on how many questions we get, but drop them down in the comments below.
We had a lot of people asking for us to just do another like more traditional one, so we thought we'd give it a shot. Just because we know that like sometimes we like to play games, we'll do the keyword games, or sometimes we like to have a topic just to kind of keep things going. But at the same time, we also know that sometimes that takes up a lot of the time of the Q&A. So we thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of just let you guys run this how you want to, and ask us questions that you have. We've had quite a few people reaching out like via email and stuff lately asking questions. So this is a really good time to hop on, ask any questions that you have. It can just be like something super basic that you just want like our opinion on. It could be something that maybe you're struggling with. It could just be something that maybe you think somebody else might learn from. That would be good too. So
yeah, and originally when we created these live Q&As, we never really, I won't say we didn't intend to do different things like the keywords games or whatever, but they were originally created to just answer questions, a Q&A, and help everybody. So I'm glad to just do kind of a traditional one. And like she said, we've been getting a ton of emails, Instagram messages, comments, and it's really hard to answer sometimes via text in a way that makes sense. So if you do have questions, this is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, the easiest, because we can kind of answer and explain, and then if it's not making sense or maybe we're not understanding your question, we can, go back and forth. So this is my favorite way to answer questions because I think it's just easier.
And it's quicker. You get an answer a lot faster. Yeah. You're not waiting for us to stop sourcing for the day or go home or whatever. And I don't know about you guys, but where we are, we had no cell phone service at all yesterday. Yeah. So we couldn't do anything business related. It was very
big outage. So yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Thanks for getting on. It's nice to see you guys. All right, we're gonna start with the question. Well, do you want to tell them how your week was?
Yeah, let's talk about where things are at. We usually kind of wrap up how last week went, but it's been a couple weeks, so maybe we should. I know, hey, live show, definitely a first. Cool. Hey, Kevin. Yeah, we try to do, as we mentioned in the beginning of this, we've kind of been off and on with live shows, but we do try to do one every Monday morning around 9 a.m. We kind of have some things in the works, and we're hoping to commit to an afternoon one on a separate day, or possibly even the same day maybe. I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but we're hoping to do another afternoon session sometime every week. But currently it is every Monday morning, 9 a.m. We do a live Q&A. Sometimes we do games. Sometimes we do just random stuff, but it's always in the middle of it, do a Q&A. So make sure to join us and set your reminders so you get notified. So first of all, people wanted to know, I got a lot of comments asking how your vacation went. So how did your vacation go?
It was so good. I had such a good time. If you guys don't know, I spent a few days with my mom and my sister on a girls trip at the beach. I left my kids at home for the first time with my husband, and it was so great to just have some girl time and get out and some sand and margs and waves. It was good. But I came in that Monday to hang out with you guys for a little bit and just kind of kick things off, make sure that our assistant didn't need any help with shipping or anything like that in the morning, and then kind of spent some time getting things done. Went and chopped my hair off, and then went on vacation. So if you haven't noticed, it's very short now. So I lost 20 inches of hair, and it's definitely way lighter, but it's still pretty long. I still have a ponytail, which is nice. But
so different.
It is.
In person, it's very shocking.
I sent Cayley a picture right after, and they had curled it so it looked even shorter. And I was like, "Hey, I did a thing." She was like, "Oh God!" She knew it was coming, but didn't know when. But yeah. And then I came back, and I was supposed to come back Monday, and long story short, I was like, I'm gonna do a half day Monday because I came in half day the Monday before. And I was so tired from driving. I drove myself the entire way, and it was like 9 hours. And long story short, I texted Cayley and I was like, can I just stay home and work from home today? So that's what I did. I stayed home and cross-posted and got us caught up in some of the online stuff. So that's what I did. What about your vacation?
Mine was like pretty much the exact same. I went on a girls' trip with my mom and sister, literally the same thing.
Yep. At the beach?
Yeah, at the beach. I did go to a different place, and we went for about the same length of time. So yeah, I just spent 2 days. I'm like a beach bum when I go. I don't want to really do anything else except maybe try different restaurants, but I just want to sit on the beach and do nothing. That's what I did. We did play a little bit of volleyball with some locals there, but that was about it. I just laid, and then I swam.
Yep.
And then I slept. It was awesome.
Yep, me too.
Okay, so enough about vacation, but I thought I would answer that because a lot of people were asking how your vacation went.
I'm glad you guys care.
And yeah, so our weeks have been going really good. We probably mentioned it. I don't know if you mentioned it in the live, but I'm sure you probably did. But we're getting ready to hire again. We're actually
I'm really excited.
Yeah, we're somewhat like promoting our current office assistant. She's going to get some new responsibilities and be, have some responsibilities being in charge of this new hire, which is basically going to take over some of her role here at the office. So we're excited to essentially give her some new responsibilities and bring somebody else new in, help to grow the business. We're kind of maxed out. It's just the three of us right now, myself, Nikki, and our office assistant, who we keep calling Woman. I'm not sure if we said her actual name.
My God, I've screwed up so many times. I feel so bad. I've tried so hard to be so good, but I do mess up occasionally.
Yeah, so it's just the three of us. We're all full-time. But she kind of runs the day-to-day stuff here at the office, and then Nikki and I handle the background of everything and also sourcing, which, as you guys know, we are sourcing 175 items per week. So sourcing is a big task for us. So we're just kind of maxed out on all of our roles, and that's why we're hiring somebody new. But over the past couple of weeks, we've been preparing for that, and then we've been sourcing extra just to kind of prepare for vacation and be ready for the new hire, which we honestly, for like the last month, I don't think we've gone to the bins, have we?
No, I think it's been longer than that, but we talked about potentially going this week or next week, or maybe both, just to kind of prepare. We both have vacations in August that we're going to be gone on, and then we're going to be starting a new hire at the end of August. So we thought it would be good to maybe hit the bins up again, just to like really get a little bit further ahead. But
surprisingly, without
sorry.
Bless you. Surprisingly, without going to the bins, we've been able to keep up with sourcing. Thrift stores have been really good lately, and I think it's because we're like moving into the fall season, so I'm really excited.
With some good stuff too, like not even just El Cheapo stuff. I felt really good about the stuff we've been getting. This is really side noted, but somebody asked about sales, Patchwork Vintage Co. I always love seeing you get on. I like seeing names that I recognize. So thanks for getting on again. Yeah. But Cayley sent me an Instagram post this morning. She sent me an Instagram post this morning, this weekend, and it was from a Monday morning, and it was probably about a year ago, and it was like
a little over a year, or a little less than a year ago.
It was like, I don't know, we said something about like, it's a chaotic Monday, like, or another chaotic Monday. Let me see what she sent. Another chaotic Monday. And it was essentially a picture of us shipping. So it says, organized chaos every Monday morning. We're shipping out 30 packages today. And this is the Instagram post she had up. And like, the desk is empty. And I was like, she sent it to me and she was like, we were so wrong. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So we on average most Mondays are sending out about 70-ish. I think our record's 79. I think. I don't know.
I think we actually got like 89 once.
Maybe. I don't know.
It was almost 90.
We were thinking. But long story short, we like were impressed at how much things have changed. And we kind of had a conversation this week that every year things have doubled. I don't know that they'll double this year because we've had a lot of growth. We got a new place. We've moved. We lost 2 employees. We started a brand new one to replace both of their jobs.
We've changed a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, we've changed a lot of like the order in which we've done things. We've really taken a step back to focus on processes, but we're pretty close to doubling again. So we'll see.
Yeah, so things have been going really well. Sales, so we'll just say I'm glad you asked how sales are going, because when I look at it in the moment, sales feel like they're down. I think I mentioned that in a recent What Sold video where I was like, I feel like we're just running in sand because we're spinning our wheels, we're doing all these things, but sales are like steady. But that's because we're in summer slowdown. So we're doing things to grow, but we're in a slow period, so we're remaining steady, which is kind of what we want.
Definitely has not felt like a summer slowdown at all. And we like had this conversation. So I was talking to our office assistant earlier this week, or maybe it would have been last week. And I was like, yeah, I said, we're about to hit busy season. And she just kind of looked at me for a second. She was like, huh? I was like, oh yeah, this is nothing. Like, it's about to get crazy. So I'm really excited. I love fall. All the sweaters and the coats and more substantial items. And I'm really excited because it's easier to find things, more profit behind each item, which will lead us into a question we had. And I feel like, I don't know, I just like it. It's not hot. Yeah. I'm not suffocating going into the stores.
I'm a fall baby, so I love spooky season too.
Me too. We're both fall babies.
But if you're new to reselling and you've never experienced like a whole year of a sales pattern, then I will warn you that if you like started in summer slowdown, that whenever fall starts to hit, your sales for most people essentially double. So if you're currently sending out 2 packages, then in the fall to winter time, you're probably going to expect to send out 4 packages. Mm-hmm. So just something to prepare for, because even though growth is good and having more sales are good, it also takes more time. Yeah. So you got to remember that moving into Q4, we're currently in Q3, just started Q3, now we're about to move into Q4. Just keep that in mind as you move into Q4 if you're a newer reseller, that things really boom, which is a great thing, but you got to be prepared for it, because if you're not, it's going to take up a lot of your time, which means it's going to eat into your sourcing and things like that. But regarding the sales question, it feels like things are stagnant, but I understand why. I do expect them to boom in Q4 because we've been putting in a lot of work. We've been listing more. We've been refining our listings and making them better. We've become faster at it. We've eliminated some processes. And I always try to tell people, if you're looking at whether your sales are slow or not, don't look at the last week or the last month. Look at a year's worth of time, which you can do on eBay. I think you might be able to do that on Closet Insights on Poshmark. I got to look at that. But you definitely want to look at a year's worth of time and compare last year. Don't compare this week to last week. Compare a year's worth of time or 6 months, because if you're feeling down but you look at last year's numbers, you'll be like, wow, I've actually had a lot of growth.
Yeah, I feel like Cayley kind of said things have just kind of seemed very, very, not stagnant, but I feel like we've been kind of just on the same course. And like, we'll see an influx every now and then, but it doesn't seem like a lot of different. And then we look at like I said, almost a year ago or just shy of a year ago, and we have doubled the packages, and it doesn't feel like that. For me, I feel like forever we've been shipping out that much, but there are days where we shipped out like 2 or 3 and we'd be like, well, that's it. Like now I can't imagine just sending 2 or 3, but there's days that happens. So
good morning, everybody. And hello. We do see your comments. We do have a couple questions, but we're going to start with a question from last week from somebody that we didn't get to that I thought would be a good topic to lead into today's Q&A. If you do have questions, put them in the comments now, because we do go like essentially a first come first serve. So whoever puts the comment first, that's the question that we will answer first. So let's go. What was it from last week?
I have a question for the next live Q&A. So I've been wondering how much you should be earning per item that is minus platform fees, shipping fees, tax, cost of goods, etc., to make it all worthwhile. Right now, I'm trying to source items with sold comps of about $30, trying to avoid, if I can, anything less than that, with the exception of my own items that are selling. So essentially, Cliff Notes version, how much should you be earning per item
after
all the stuff comes out.
Do you know how I'm going to answer?
Well, I mean, I could guess, but it depends. It depends on a lot of different things. It depends on how you run your store. It depends on your like selling method, I would say. There's multiple ways. I think she's going to tell you that there's no set answer.
Yes, that is correct. This is a great question, and I feel like a lot of newer resellers, maybe people who have been in it for a few months, ask, and it's, you know, they're comparing themselves to other resellers or comparing themselves to people on YouTube and asking why their sales are not that way and what they should be doing. And they're trying to follow somebody to learn, but then they're comparing everything exactly the same, even though their situations are not the same. So, you know, we talk about having sales. I already saw some people in the comments that were like, wow, I wish I had 30 packages going out on a Monday. Yeah, but you also probably don't have 3 and, you know, full-time employees. So it's just something to keep in mind that perspective is everything. Everyone's situation is different. So you really got to look at your numbers. I promise I have a video coming up about bookkeeping and kind of figuring that out. It's just a lot to put together, but kind of figuring out what that looks like for you. I highly recommend that you create your own spreadsheets on either Excel if you have Excel, or free version you can go to Google Docs. It's free, and use their sheets there. It's basically the same thing as Excel, and create your own spreadsheet, even if it's just a small one, to kind of get an idea of the breakdown of your numbers. We actually have one that I use when I go sourcing sometimes, and it's called I think it's called a profit breakdown, but I have a place where I put how much I expect the item to sell for. Then it calculates the fees. I usually just go with 20% because Poshmark is like the higher one. So I just kind of round to 20%. My cost of goods I enter. And then shipping costs I just kind of look at as a wash, because usually, unless you're giving a discount, shipping is paid for by the buyer on both. The way we run it on both eBay and Poshmark, because we choose to have the buyer pay. Unless you're giving a small shipping discount. So just kind of consider that a wash. So I'm really just looking at how much do I expect to sell the item itself for. Shipping's a wash. What's the fee? What's your cost of goods? You know, there are supplies involved, but as a whole, those are the numbers we really look for. You know, supplies breakdown per item, you're looking at probably, I think last time I checked, ours is about 20 to 30 cents per package. So it's really not that big of a difference, but you got to look at what's right for you and how many items you plan on sourcing each week. And I would kind of just, again, make yourself a little spreadsheet. The formulas are not hard to learn in Google Sheets for something like that. So I would make that and kind of plan yourself some goals based on what your average prices are in Goodwill. How much are you picking up items for? On average, I think our cost of goods, just rounded, is about $5 per item right now. That's rounded. For some people, it might be $8. For some people, it might be $1 to $2 if you're shopping at the bins. And you just kind of adjust from there. I will tell you that I think most resellers, a safe way to look at it in the beginning is to try and triple or quadruple your money. I wouldn't go with the double my money method, because I think there's not enough margin there, at least in the beginning, until you're confident on sourcing. But for us personally, and again, our situation's different, we try to go with like a 5 into 25 kind of method, and that's like our maximum we'll pay for the minimum amount, if that makes sense.
That's what we focus when we're in the store. It's not, I mean, I guess it is still focusing on fees and things, but we have a roundabout idea. So we have how much we know, like she said, $5 into 25, we'll do like $10 into 40. Like, it just depends for us what we'd pick it up, and it makes it a little bit more generic that when we're in the store, we can just quick look rather than like looking into profits. I would try to find something similar to yourself, so you're not physically calculating like every profit margin on every single item. Get like a range for yourself. I'll pay X amount of dollars if it's comping for X amount of dollars on eBay. And that's how we do it. You could set that margin to be whatever you want it to be. I would look at your profit and see what that looks like. But that's kind of what we do. And for Sew and Thrift, it's $25 is what we would list it for. Yeah, is gross. So that's what we'd be listing it for. So at Goodwill, most of our stuff is marked $4.89. If it's marked $4.89 and I know, like, I comp it on eBay, it comps well, I look at the solds to see how much they're selling for. If it's marked for selling for $25, I will pick it up anyways.
Yeah. But let me just make sure we don't skip. Kevin, thank you so much. I think it's Canadian.
It is.
Chat. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thanks, Kevin Plummer, too.
We really appreciate that. We're actually going to get coffees today, so we'll probably use that for coffee. But real quick, just to round out that question a little bit, it really depends. I would definitely come up with something for your area. The best thing I can tell you as a newer reseller is to find what works for you. Don't try to squeeze your situation into someone else's box, because it will not work.
Well, it makes it really, like,
discouraging.
That was what it's going for. It makes it very discouraging when you see something that's working for somebody that may not work for you. It depends on your region. It depends what your purchasing price is in all your stores. We were in one the other day and some guy in Texas said that, like, all jeans were like $15.
Been getting a lot of comments like that we have really good thrift store prices. We're fortunate.
Just to pick those up. You know, for us, we could pick up a pair of jeans at Goodwill for $7. Some of you guys might have it cheaper where you are. If that's the case, you could afford to splurge on those. But it all depends on where you are, what your store process is, and
and you know, we focus on a super high sell-through rate model, but you might not have access to those brands in your area, and so you might have to focus on a lower sell-through rate model. I still think that the tips that we give in videos are helpful for all models, but I definitely think if you know you can't find high sell-through rate brands and you need to focus on a lower sell-through rate model, that means you should probably lower your cost of goods, right? Because you're going to need to pick up more to make up for that low sell-through rate. So let's just do a quick breakdown of the 5 into 25. If we're picking something up for $5, planning on selling it for $25, shipping's additional, shipping is a wash, then 20% highest platform fees on Poshmark of $25 is going to be $5. So 25 minus $5 is 20, minus your cost of goods would be $15. So then I've turned $5 into $15, and we expect with an 100% average sell-through rate within 3 months for that to turn around. So that's kind of our like maximum to minimum, if that makes sense, of what we'll pay. So I hope that answered what was her name, Honey Gigi's question.
I believe, yes.
If you guys have any more questions regarding that, put them in the comments down below, but we are going to start smashing out some of you guys' questions in the comments.
Yeah, so keep dropping them at any point. We'll go back. We're going to start now at the top and go through them and kind of go from there.
69 people watching and only 16 thumbs up, so please take a second and give us a thumbs up. It's a free way to help out our channel.
Crystal says, so you talk about people who do listings. Is that addition to the 3 of you? So there are 3 of us. We do everything from the get-go. So Cayley and I right now are the only 2 that go sourcing. And like we said, we had our office assistant. Our office assistant, she will help with shipping. She does most of it herself. We help occasionally on like Mondays or if we have really busy days. And then she does photos, drafts, and then she'll fill out as many listings as she can during the day. And then once or twice a week, Cayley and I will have office days. It's been once a week lately, but we'll sit down, we'll go over all of those listings and we schedule them out. So she does the majority of the listings for us. We just go back and finish the ones that she wasn't able to complete. And kind of from there, what that looks like is anything that's not done, we finish, and then we schedule those. I know it's done a little bit further. Somebody asked how many items we do each week. We do 175 items each week currently. We list 22 a day, 7 days a week. So, moral of the story, you're gonna be like, that doesn't add up. And the reason why is we leave what we call an overflow bucket. And that's in case like one of us has to take a day off randomly. We want to take a personal day. One of us is sick. So we use that as kind of a photo draft bank. She does them ahead of time. If we don't need them, then the following week we'll just go ahead and list them and move on. But we know that we always kind of have an extra bank in case something happens. But 175 listings a week. And that comes down to our assistant doing 35 each day, Monday through Friday when she's here. So she'll draft 35, photo 35, and then fill out as many as what she can. But no, there's just the three of us, and we just push through it. I think we figured out we were going to add 60 additional listings with this new person, just to kind of give us an idea of what that looks like. I think that put us at, what did I say, like 27 a day is what we were going to list, I believe, and then leave us with some extra still. So we will be increasing to, I think it was like 27 or 28 each day.
To start. Yeah.
To start. And then hopefully increase that. But they're also going to be sourcing with us 2 days a week. So they're going to do 20 each day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday probably. And then we'll take them sourcing Tuesday, Thursdays.
Yeah. So basically, our one office assistant, the only additional person besides us, does most of the listing process. The only thing we really do is verify, fill in the gaps, and do pricing.
Mm-hmm.
But she handles everything else so that Nikki and I can solely focus on sourcing and processes. And, you know, as we increase the amount that we're listing and sourcing, one of our biggest concerns is that we don't want the quality of items to go down just because we're having to source more. So we're trying to open up more time to spend more time finding better items that will sell quickly, and not having to scramble. And that's where majority of our time is going.
One busy mama says that she's glad we enjoyed our trip. So thank you.
Thank you. It was awesome.
You need to take a break, enjoy summer, and it helps to reset when you return. That's so true. I think Cayley mentioned, on maybe Instagram though, like we both kind of got into a rut. Like it's been a long year. We moved to a new office in February, and then we had a new hire then that did not work out. And so we had to start the process all over again. And we were able to start over again with, again, another new person. She's been phenomenal. But it's been hard. Like, it seems like every month we've had something that's come up.
We really haven't had a day, like, time off, with exception to maybe one thing here or there, which we usually make up on another day anyways. But we really haven't had time off since last year.
Yeah, so. It was, I think, November was the last vacation I took, other than obviously this one we just took. But I am really bad at saying, well, I'll take one when we have time. I'll take a day when we have time. And that's what Cayley said. She's like, you literally haven't taken a day off just for funsies, like for yourself this entire year. And I was like, yeah, I'll take one when we have time. So we got our new hire in, and she, was training and she was learning. And then we're trying to bulk up for this next person. And then we'll bring them in, and I'll be working with them and training them. And then next thing I know, it'll be November, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't take time off, because that's what happens. So
you gotta force yourself. You gotta plan time off the same way that you plan work, in my opinion.
Thank you for the hair comment. I love you too. You're great. Good morning. Wish I had 30 packages to ship. We talked about that. It will come. Just keep focusing. Stay the course. It will work out. I promise.
It takes a long time for the work you put in to come to fruition. What is it, the saying we always say? The seeds you plant now, will
be the garden of the future, or something like that.
But
it's really hard. It's hard to keep motivated when you're not seeing direct results. I think that's with anything in life, whether it's work related, home related. It is hard to stay focused when you're not really seeing it come. But like I mentioned, so way back when I started, our goal, which was last April, this will give you some kind of header on where we're going. When I started last April, our goal was 100 listings a week.
Yeah.
And there were weeks where we didn't get there because we were just struggling to source enough, or we'd go on vacation, and it was hard.
Call offs
happened. And now we're doing 175 a week, and we're sourcing more than that. So most weeks we end the week with about half to 3/4 of the next batch finished. And we're keeping ahead of those just in case.
About 240 a week we get.
Yeah. If you told me though, last April that we'd be sourcing almost 250 items a week, I would probably tell you that you were insane.
I remember, not to cut you off, but I remember when we went from sourcing 100 listings a week, and myself bumping it up to 120 and then 140, and you were like, Cayley, we can't do this.
Work.
We will not be able to source as much, and we make it work somehow.
I definitely think we've like expanded on more brands. We've had to get more resourceful. And I think that we like had a list of brands we looked for, and we realized now we were missing out on a lot of things because we just didn't slow down and take the time to comp. We might take a little bit longer in the stores now to search brands that we have no idea. But we're finding some really high quality things by doing so, and it's definitely made a difference. So.
Yeah.
We have lots of comments saying good morning or hi. So good morning and hello.
I saw people from all over.
Yeah. When you say growth, is it a whole or just one platform? Randy, I would definitely say include all your platforms, because when you're looking at your growth, I mean, I would maybe look at each one individually, but I wouldn't look at like maybe eBay isn't going well for you, but maybe Poshmark is. I wouldn't want to see you get discouraged from just looking at eBay or just looking at Poshmark. I would look at everything and then see what changes you could make between each platform. If you have one that's performing better than others, that's awesome. Like, good thing that you've got one that's really reliable. Find out what you're doing on the other platform though that maybe isn't going as well, and maybe work on trying to improve that as well. But growth is just growth as a whole. So if that's one platform, two platforms, five platforms, whatever that looks like, if you are increasing your listings and increasing your sales, that's a win-win.
Yeah, I would definitely say we look at it as a whole, but we also look at individually our platforms, because we don't want to be investing time and energy into things that aren't working. So we also individually look into platforms as well, and that's mainly just to figure out, is it actually worth it to continue doing this, or should we maybe turn another direction, which we have done before. You know, we got rid of Mercari because we wanted to focus heavily on eBay and Poshmark. Now I feel like we've done a really good job with that. We may add Mercari back by the end of this year, but you know, sometimes you have to look at platforms individually and go, is this actually worth my time right now? Do I need to put it on the burner until later? Or do I need to just not do it at all? So that's how we look at growth.
Jen, I answered this, but I just want to make sure you heard. We have 22 items that we list per day, whether that's scheduled or whether that's like us actively setting them live. Most times they're scheduled for us because we work so far ahead. But it would just be the same as you setting 22 live every morning. We do 35 items a day as far as photoing and drafting and preparing for listings. And then we just spread them out for 7 days because we only work 5 days. So I hope that makes sense. So 35 each day, Monday through Friday. And then we divide that between the 7 days of the week, which comes to 22 with a little bit of leftover for us to have in case we have call-offs. Do you use the promote option on eBay?
This is a great question. My answer has actually changed on this.
What?
So normally we do not promote anything unless items have been sitting for a long period of time, in which case we used to grab them and list them at a very low rate, like 1 to 2%. And that's just kind of to shake things up in the search algorithm. Since then, I think you have to at least do 2% is what I'm hearing now for it to even show up. And I think eBay did actually update us on that, but I didn't really read through promoted listings because we didn't really use them. But typically we don't promote. However, this weekend I was going through my listing quality report, which, if you don't know, there is an eBay report that you can pull called a listing quality report. And it basically breaks down each of the categories that you sell in, and it ranks you among all the eBay sellers that sell in that category. It will give you a ranking, and it will tell you some things that you can do that other people have done that cause an item like that to typically sell. So one of the things that I noticed was, like, I think I might be misrepresenting this, I'm just like paraphrasing the situation, but one of the categories, let's say, was women's jeans. And it's told me in this data sheet that most listings in this category sell quickly by being promoted by 6%. So its suggestion to me in this was to promote my listings to 6%. So I actually went through those sheets and went into each category, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to actually try to do what eBay tells us to do and let's just see if it works. You know, they've pulled the data, they're saying this works, I'm just going to try it. 6% to me did not sound like too much to gamble on. So I changed all the ones that said promote 6% to that, and I will let you know how that goes. But on a typical basis, we do not promote. And I don't think you should promote unless you need to. If a category is selling without promotion, why would you want to waste that money? You know what I mean? So we typically don't, but unless eBay suggests it, then we just leave it.
To be continued. We will let you know.
I'll let you know. I just did that this weekend.
I agree about the spreadsheets. I'm not good with them, but I wanted to be more in control of my numbers, so I bought Paper plus Spark spreadsheet bundle for the different platforms I sell on, just for your information.
I've never heard that.
My profit is all over the place. Some are 40 plus and others are 5. You're going to have that. I mean, we still have some that are very high. We just sold like high top Converse sneakers this morning for like either 150 or 170.
150.
Profit on that's going to be pretty good. I think we only paid what, like,
I think we paid 10.
I think it was $10 or $12.
Yeah.
So profit on that was really great. But like we've also been marking a lot of our stuff down to get rid of because we have a lot of items that just like need to go. And we actually had a conversation about clearing some of our old stuff out, marking it for $5 and calling it good. Just as like a final chance to get rid of it. If we don't sell it within the week, we'll probably just go donate it. The profit on those is going to be virtually nothing because we probably paid like $4.69 for those.
Just get our money back.
But it'll get our money back and we'll get them out. We'll break even. So I wouldn't focus too much on the variance. If you have to get rid of it, get rid of it. And if it ends up only being $5, at least that gives you an option for something else that may be higher dollar to be in that spot for you. How can I share extra photos with potential buyers? I see only the comment area. Juanita, where are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are you talking about on like Poshmark? Are you talking about eBay? Can you give us some more information about the photos you're talking about, and I'll circle back to that.
Each platform has, I think, 12. At least eBay and Poshmark have at least 12 photos. And I think Poshmark might actually have like 16.
Poshmark, I think, has more than what eBay does.
But that should be enough, right? That should be enough. But if not, I know like if somebody asks you a question on eBay, during your response to that, you can attach a photo. Poshmark has their new messaging system. Do you know if you can include a photo in that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
I shall look.
Okay. You might be able to in their new system, but otherwise you're reduced to probably just, if you're full on your photos, deleting one that isn't as important and adding it, if you can't do it via messaging.
Yeah, there's no, like on the regular Poshmark page, there's no way to add it to like a comment. You can always just add it to your listing if you have extra space. That's what we would typically do if we had extra space. But you could also like add it and then put a comment of, hey, like I put an additional photo for you in the thing, in the listing. It doesn't allow you to do it in bundles either. Let me see if I can find a question on here.
While she's looking that up, Jennifer, I just saw your comment. It is very scary to start on eBay. We're really lucky. I guess I'm really lucky that I started on eBay. Like I didn't sell on any other platform. Poshmark, I don't even think existed when I started on eBay. So I started on the hardest platform and I just learned it because it was the only one to sell on. And so it's made my life a lot easier because I learned on it. But my suggestion is just to get in there and try it. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. We still make mistakes. There's still some things on eBay where something will pop up and I'll be like, well, let's just try it and see if it works. But you just got to get in there and try it. It is complicated at first, but then something clicks, like a light bulb will just click and it'll all start making sense to you. I did make a video about how to get started on eBay for beginners. It's in a lot of detail. It's really long, to be honest with you, but it has great detail if you want to go watch that, and I kind of explain eBay a little bit better.
Juanita, there is a spot if you like have a buyer specifically, you can message them try to block this person's name down here. There is like a photo spot down here that you can add in a personal message on Poshmark between somebody. So, but you'd have to like go to their profile and message them specifically, not just like comment on the item to do so. But it is possible. Do you sell a lot of bundles? I don't know. I would say probably not, if I had to guess. I mean, we do have some, but like I wouldn't say that primarily our stuff is bundled.
I would say it's like 5 or less a week.
Yeah.
Compared to the hundreds that we sell. We're probably, I would say on average right now, we probably sell 150 items total a week between those two platforms. Maybe 5 of those are bundles. Occasionally we'll get like a bundle of like
massive amounts,
like 15 items, but usually they're just 2 to 3 items. So not a whole lot, but we do have like bundle discounts on both eBay and Poshmark set up so that it's kind of seamless for us, because I don't really want to deal with constantly calculating that in my head and figuring that out for a buyer.
Phoenix and Cousins, yes, 22 listings do go live every single day. We do schedule them out. I think right now we're scheduling for, I'm going to see where we were date wise. We're scheduling right now for August 5th, I do believe. So we've already scheduled the rest of this week. We've already scheduled through next, or up to, I think, next Thursday. So maybe that's the 4th. And then after that, we will schedule, today we're here. So we will be scheduling beyond that. So starting today, there's a few listings left from, I think, Friday that I needed to finish up. I didn't get a chance to. Could work on this weekend because I didn't have internet and didn't have a phone. So I will work on those today. It will probably be scheduled through Saturday, I would guess. And then, towards the end of this week, once our office assistant has finished more listings, then we'll schedule those as well. But yes, 22 every single day. We just schedule them on eBay so that we don't have to worry about listing them every single day. There is a 10-cent fee per listing for doing so. But in all actuality, it's honestly worth it, because if not, we'd be spending time every single morning listing all of those items, and we wouldn't want to have to spend extra time doing so. The sooner that we can leave to hit the stores, the sooner we get to those stores, and the more likely we are to get more items. So I would recommend scheduling, just so you know. You can also do it on Posh if you haven't done it on Posh. It's called drops. It's not called scheduling. Mm-hmm. But at the very bottom, it's like you fill out your listing like usual, and where you would hit like submit listing or like next to move on, there's a spot that you could do where I think it's like advanced, and it'll say like schedule for this date and time, or drop at this date and time, and you can actually select the date and time which you'd like to do. It does show the buyer like a preview on your page, but they can't actually purchase it until a certain time. So
yeah, guys, I see a few people asking this. There's actually a question coming up saying, do we schedule listings to go live on the weekends or just Monday through Friday? Weekends as well. We want something going live on every single day, and I highly recommend for you to do that as well. Whatever amount of listings you can get done every week, spread those out as evenly as possible between all of your days. You don't have to schedule. You could just leave them sitting in your draft bank and then set them live every day. So many live. But guys, I just dropped in the comments section a link to our Ben's listing system video that answers all these questions. If you're trying to figure out how we do it, we actually have like been set up Monday through Sunday. So that's kind of how we do it. If you watch that link that I just dropped down below, after this, now just save it, whatever you want. But it talks about how we do that and how you can do that as well, whether you want to schedule or just set them live. But we do use an organization system for that makes it a lot easier. And
it was game changing.
That link is down below. Yeah,
we really
still use that.
It really was pretty important. We were eventually just kind of going in and setting them live, and then like we would have just whole bins of like probably 30 items each or whatever, and we'd have to dig through and figure out how many were on each day and where those came from, and it got very complicated. So we were like, well, why don't we just make them for each day? You guys can watch that video and see exactly what that looks like. But it is a game changer if you're looking at scheduling and getting ahead, which I would recommend, because Lord knows whatever is going to happen, and it's better to just be prepared. So
I think that system is good for any amount of listings a day too. Like you could just get smaller bins if you wanted to do 5 a day,
bags
or 10 a day, or whatever. Or use IKEA bags, but anybody can use that system down below, and it's super helpful.
Is 3 months your goal in selling an item? What do you do after 3 months? Do you reduce prices within that time frame?
Do you want to answer that?
Yes, and yes, and yes. 3 months is the goal. So whenever you're checking comps on eBay, you're looking at like 90-day, what has sold in the last 90 days. So for us, that's telling us that if we pick up an item that has 100% sell-through rate, that means it should sell within 90 days. If it does not sell, then we start our markdown process. So every month after that, we'll start knocking it down. I think she switched to 5% recently. For each month it goes down, and we just keep doing so accordingly. If it hasn't sold, we need to really find like a cutoff point of when we call it done and we just donate it or get rid of it. We don't have one currently because we honestly, all those items have been selling. So we haven't had much issue after like the first couple markdowns. But I would definitely reduce monthly.
I just dropped a video on how to do that on both eBay and Poshmark. If you go to my channel after this, you'll see it in the most recent videos. It's called like how I drop prices on eBay and Poshmark, and I talk about how to drop prices, or well, how we drop prices on both. What's working for us.
It would be worthwhile, I think. It helps you get rid of things. Also, like we're in that point of like seasonality change. So like we're on the verge of going into like August. August will be about the end of summery items. People will be starting to transition into buying fall. So we're going to have to pay extra special attention to anything that we have that's summery that maybe we need one final push of a discount on. We might drop that a little bit more than that 5% just to kind of make a large move on those items. But I would definitely, no matter what your plan is to have a plan on marking down your items after so long. It doesn't have to be 90 days. It could be 6 months. It could be a month. It could be whatever you want to do. But I would have a plan to make sure that you get rid of old items as needed, because they're going to weigh your store down and they're weighing down your storage space. So if you've got an item that's not selling anymore, you could have an item in that spot that could sell. So I would definitely make a plan. If you're interested in our plan, check out Cayley's most recent video.
Hi, Joe.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Juanita. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Little Miss Nass said, I finally found 2 brands this weekend, Cool and
Travis Matthew.
I'm assuming Tim Matthew. I think she means Travis Matthew.
I think you mean Travis Matthew. I love those.
Those are great men's brands.
Fun fact, I went shopping in a very ritzy area this weekend that has all these places. Like, well, they didn't have Cool, but they had Travis Matthew, Anthropologie, Free People, J. Jill, like all these places. And I walked in and I was like, oh my God. But it was cool to see like what's new and like what's trending. So I just wanted to kind of walk around while I was in there. And I made some people really mad at REI because I was like pumped. I was like, yeah, I can get these for $5 at Goodwill, and they're marked like $100 and some. And I was like, but like I kept looking at my husband and I was like, I can't physically spend this much money on stuff. So
it's hard.
It was really cool too. I was gonna say this to Cayley this morning and I forgot. I liked looking around because there were some brands that like I hadn't run into before that I found at like places like REI and some of the other stores that I went that maybe I wasn't very familiar with. So if you're ever like super curious, it may be worthwhile. My legs are sticking to this chair.
Yeah, the employees were side-eyeing her.
Yeah. It may be worthwhile to just like explore retail stores to see what like the new styles are and to see like what's currently trending. And also to see like brands you might not recognize. Like we came across, what was it, a coat epoxy brand the other day. I'd never seen before. Like I just happened to comp it for funsies, but like it was all over REI.
That's interesting.
So it was cool to like check out. So it's another good way to find good things. And I'm glad you came across Cool and Travis Matthew.
Someone Thrift said, I have tried Mercari over and over, and for me, it is not worth it anymore. For every 30 that I sold on eBay, only one would sell on Mercari. We kind of like, I don't know. I go back and forth with this because we kind of experience the same thing, but I will say, like, you're going to get back what you put into a platform, and we at the time treated it like, just
extra.
whenever we can, we'll put some stuff over. Like, we weren't consistently listing every single day on there. We weren't dropping prices on there. We weren't responding to questions very quickly. Uh, we weren't like adjusting our listings or sending offers. Like, we were not putting in a full effort to give that platform a chance.
It was the redheaded stepchild that we just ignored until we had to.
Yeah, and because we didn't have the time to give it, we said, you know what, now's not the right time. We're going to put a pause on this, and we'll come visit it later if we get to a point where we can put our full time into it. But I would say I felt the same way at first, but looking back, we definitely just, I think if we put our full efforts into that, we could do really well, because I know a lot of resellers that do really well on Mercari.
Christy Bowers wants to know how we send offers to likers and watchers. I do once per day, but I'm wondering if that's too often. I don't think that's too often by any means.
What is the question?
How often you send offers to likers or watchers?
Oh, sorry, I skipped your question and moved on the next one.
Okay.
I missed that one. We how often? Once per day. Honestly, I don't think that's, I think that's too little.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much.
If I'm being honest. So I'm not sure which platform you're on, but on eBay, we use the bulk send offers, and I just do like a blanket 10% with a little message. If you're doing it individually, like a different amount for each one, I could see how that would be cumbersome, but I would use the bulk function on sending out offers if it's on eBay. And we do that. I do that just whenever I think of it. It's probably like 3 to 5 times a day I do that. I'm actually hoping to give that to either our new hire or our office assistant, just as like a reminder. There's a few things we do throughout the day that we're hoping to do more often, like answer customer questions, send out offers, take down items, stuff like that. So I think I'll add that on. But I personally myself, about 3 to 5 times a day, send out bulk offers on eBay. And then on Poshmark, I use Posher VA. Link is down below in the description if you'd like to try it out. You get a free week free, so it's really easy to try, simple. It's awesome, but it sends out offers for me. I think I have it set to 5 or 10 minutes after somebody likes an item, it will send them an offer on Poshmark, and I just like never have to touch that again, which I love. So find a way to make it seamless for you. That way you don't have to spend so much time doing it, so you can do it more often. But I definitely think the sooner you can send an offer when somebody first captures interest in an item, the more likely you are to sell, because if not, they may look at other people's items, or they may lose interest, or they may realize, you know what, this is like an impulse buy, I don't actually need this. So
you want to hook them pretty soon.
Yeah,
like
hook them as soon as you can.
Think about being like a brick and mortar store. If you have somebody in your store and they're looking at something, that's the perfect time to hook them on that item and to get them to commit to it, because they panic like that it's not going to be there when they come back. So if they like that item, that's them telling you that they are enjoying it and that they are really considering buying it. If you send them an offer, that can kind of tip them over that edge and make them commit to that buy. Especially if they start wondering if you're going to send that same offer to maybe somebody else, then they might lose out on that opportunity. So I would definitely say the sooner you react to when they like it, the more likelihood they are to purchase that. Kevin says, my very first helper is in the shop. How do I coach them in terms of seeing what their strengths and their talents are? Listing, photos, and batching. How much room should I give to help identify the skills?
We come from a very corporate-y HR background, so we are both very strong in HR skills and coaching, and it's just really ingrained in us at this point. And we've seen the tremendous amounts of benefits from coaching, and also I would say the negative impacts that you can have based on a type of coaching. So we have kind of agreed that we really want to develop somebody when we bring them in and constantly focus on making things better for them. And sometimes maybe it's a little bit of a hover boss kind of thing, but we really pay close attention to what's working and what's not, what they like, what they don't like, and being in constant communication. And I would say that's the best way to go about that, is just constant communication. Set time aside, even if it's 5 minutes a week, and just say every Friday morning or whatever morning, we're going to sit down. I'm going to ask you what's going well, what you don't like, what, we can improve as your boss or as a company. Do you like what you're doing? What don't you like? Why don't you like it? And sometimes from that, you'll actually get answers where you're like, why aren't we doing it like that? And I would just say that constant communication with them and having an open communication so that they know that they can come talk to you about things is the best way to identify their strengths and their talents. And then one thing that Nikki kind of does, and I'll let her talk about this, is she kind of does like, I don't know if I want to call it a game, but it's like a challenge, and she has people time themselves.
Yeah, so I was going to tell you, there's like a few things that I would tell you to do when you're starting anybody. One would be time yourself doing those tasks. So
yourself, meaning you.
Yeah, make a list of every single item that you're going to have them do, and then spend time timing yourself on those items. Not just one day, multiple days. So like, how many items are you putting away? How long does it take you to do that? Okay, maybe they're helping with shipping. How many items are you shipping? How long does it take you to do that? And get a per minute like estimate on how long it takes you, like an average minute for each item. So I know if I'm doing 20 items of photos, it should take X amount. If I'm doing 30 items, it should take X amount. So you kind of have an idea. And that way you have a realistic expectation. Add a little bit of time to that. So obviously you've been doing it for a while. You're probably going to be a little bit better at it than what they are. So give them some leeway in that, but kind of have an idea of what that expectation is. So when they start, you can say, okay, this is where you're starting. I understand it's going to take you some time. This is where I want you to be. That gives them a goal. So that's one of the most important things, is having goals. If they know that you have an idea of where you want them to get, they're going to keep striving to hit that next mark because they want to make you proud and they want to do well.
And they know that you've done it.
And they know you've done it and you've timed it. So Cayley mentioned corporate background. There were so many times where they gave me time parameters and I was like, you literally have not ever gotten out of your chair to time yourself to do this. Yeah. It is physically impossible. So knowing that you can do it and being able to step in and say, no, I'm going to help do this today, and showing them that you can do it in that time.
Set the pace.
Helps as well. Set the pace for them. Make sure that they know it is indeed possible and that it is likely. And then when you bring that new hire in, you start that process with them and you say, okay, this should take you X amount of time, and have them start timing themselves day after day after day so that they can see their improvement. They get that little bit of satisfaction of seeing that they're getting faster, paying attention to how they're doing things. So if they're not doing it the way that you're doing it, maybe, step in and offer them some help. Do the first couple days with them. When we brought in our new hire, I worked the first couple days with her, set the pace for her, showed her the processes on how we did everything, and then I kind of took a step back and let her try those things on her own. And then, as Cayley mentioned, over and over and over and over, communication is huge. So check in with them daily. Is there anything you struggled with today? Is there anything I can do to make your job easier? Do you want me to teach you the same thing again? Or do you think we need to change this process? What does that look like? And then after they get good enough that you feel like you can step back, check in on them weekly. Make sure that everything's going good, like at the end of every week or at the beginning of every single week. And then once you're past that, do like monthly or quarterly checks on them just to make sure things are good. Having that open communication is huge, and showing that you have willingness to change things in your business that make things easier for them is really important.
Kevin, I think now is really an important time because you said I feel like you just brought them in because you're asking these questions and it's your first one. Now is really an opportune time. I think, we can say all these things and we can do all these things, but I think if you're going to do that, it might be overwhelming for somebody if you just jump into it when they're like 6 months down the road. So I would tell somebody when you bring them on, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to be very communicative towards you. Here's why, like, I want to improve the workplace. I want to identify what your strengths and weaknesses are. And that way they know you're not just like hovering over them. Like if I came,
you don't want to be micromanaged, but
Yeah.
you want to know that you're supported.
yeah, if I came to Nikki like now and I was like, hey, we're going to go into this thrift store. I'm going to time you. And I want you to, like, I want to hover over you and see how many items you're getting per hour. Like, she would be like, well, we've never done that before. And I'm like a year into it, right? But if you set those expectations in the beginning that you're going to be very open and you explain to them why you're doing it, I think they'll be really willing. And if you ask them what they like and they don't like, oftentimes those are their strengths and weaknesses. People tend to be strong in the things that they enjoy because they want to do them. They put more effort into them. So hopefully that little bit of information help. We could both talk about this topic all day
Forever.
because we love development and training and all that. So,
but always feel free to reach out if you have questions or you're not sure. I think the number one thing is to communicate with them. Start off with like a stern foot of these are the expectations and you need to reach these expectations. I'm paying you to do XYZ, and then back off and become a little bit more friendly and become a little bit more relatable. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna be very blunt because Cayley loves when I do this to her. I've made that mistake. Last run-in, we worked with her on like a one-off, like every now and then 1099 contract. So they knew us, but didn't know us well enough. I thought that we could kind of cohesively put them in without putting up that front. It did not work out. We ended up getting taken advantage of a lot. And because of that, going into this next person, we said, no, we're setting goals. We're going to set realistic expectations, but we're going to have future goals. This is where you are now. This is where I want to see you in 6 months. And our new hire like has killed it. So we went from our previous office assistant not being able to get 5 listings done a day to our other one doing 35 a day. And it just shows us that like we weren't insane, which was what was made to believe that we were like had unrealistic expectations. It's very important for you to know that it is indeed possible
or impossible.
If you do it and you're like, man, this is not working, then you know. But have goals, start off stern and then loosen up. Business first mindset all the time. Like our new hire knows that business comes first. We'll go have fun. We go to lunch often. We like to enjoy each other's company, but work has to get done. We know if we're slacking off that we are all picking up the weight. I don't know. We could go on forever, but I need to focus. So, but yeah,
Thanks
if you
for
have
asking
questions, let us know.
We enjoy talking about it.
Yeah, let us know, Kevin. You can shoot us an email or whatever if you have more questions. But is it better to do scheduled listings in the morning or on the evening? I do morning now, but just wondering which is more effective. I don't know.
I don't think it. In the long term of things, I don't think it really matters. What I think is important is which one of those options are you more likely to get done? Yeah. Because even though it, let's say, might be better to post in the evening, not saying that it is, but let's say that, majority of people are on at night. If you're struggling with that and, it takes more effort for you to get them done by listing them in the evening, then just set them off in the morning. We personally use that for our business. We just set them at 5 a.m. every day. Kevin, you did not have to give us another one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kevin.
But you do whatever is going to get the job done, because in the long scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. And those are the fine details I think people get really hung up on. But we come in at 8 in the morning every day. We set them off. I say 5, but eBay works on Pacific time, so for us it ends up being 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we set it off right when we come in the morning. It's done. We don't have to think about it. I don't really worry about what time is best, because again, in the long scheme of things, if you've got good items, they're going to sell no matter what.
Patchwork Vintage Co. I don't know. I think she mentioned this, but we have Posher VA, so as soon as somebody likes the item, I think it's within 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes, it sends them an automatic discount offer. So we don't have to do that ourselves, but those are immediate for us. Before, we did them about the same time as eBay, where every so often we would send them. But with Posher VA, it automatically does that. So I'm so small that I'm happy with $5 profit. It's more than I'd make at a garage sale. That is very true. If your cost of goods is very low, you can afford to make less per item, which is really good. The idea is you're selling items that are going fast, which is going to make your eBay store look like you're selling more than what, like as much as what you're listing, which makes you look good. So thanks so much. Oh man, every time I do this,
chat is jumping. We got 90 people watching, 47 likes. If you haven't, take a second and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for your questions. This has been a really fun live.
Thanks so much, Cayley. It totally makes sense about promotion. We talked about being scared to sell on eBay. Just do it. Suffer through it until you make it work. I promise it's worth it because everything else seems easy.
Someone said that eBay video is so helpful. It is an older one, I will say. I probably like stutter on my words. I'm a little bit slower to talk, but there is what I think there's value in it because I try to explain it. Like I try to combat some things, some concerns that newer resellers have on eBay so that you can kind of get in the mindset of, okay, this is what this does, and it makes more sense.
Juanita, I don't know if you saw Sew Thrift's comment, but she said on Poshmark you can create a new listing and tag the person with the extra pictures. So that'd be another cool way to do it if you wanted to do so. What platform do you sell the most on, or does it change? I don't know. I'd say mostly eBay. Poshmark surprises us sometimes and like blows us out of the water, and sometimes we'll be eBay, but on the average day, I think eBay pulls everything else.
Yeah, we sell. This is all gross numbers, guys. Gross numbers. But on eBay, on average, right now, we are doing probably, I would say, about 12 grand a month on eBay and about 4 to 5 grand a month on Poshmark. So it's a little over double the sales that we're doing on eBay. eBay is definitely the more significant platform, but it also has the most users, so we kind of expect that, right? We put a lot of love into eBay. We're trying to put as much effort into Poshmark right now to kind of round that out before we move to another platform, but definitely eBay is bae, as we always say.
Yeah. Vondi wants information on the virtual assistant. You really ought to do a video on like Posh or VA.
I have.
Do you?
I don't know if they're asking how to get a virtual assistant or if they're talking about Posh or VA. Vondi, you can let us know.
Yes.
I think you're asking about how to get a virtual assistant. We've had a virtual assistant in the past. However, it was someone local that we could actually meet up with in person. We've kind of talked about that before, but I don't have any experience with like hiring a virtual online assistant that is not in my area. So I would not be the best person to give you advice on that. We prefer to find people local, even if they're going to be working virtually, just because, again, we're big on communication, big on development, and it's hard to do that when you can't talk to them or meet up with them or have a phone call with them in person. Things get lost in translation.
It's really nice too to be able to like celebrate milestones and like do things together to get to know each other. Personality and like being able to interact with somebody on a one-on-one level can be huge for motivation. I mean, I guess you could like send them care packages or whatever, but it's, I think, nice to.
Yeah, our old virtual assistant, we got to know her kids. You know, we took her out a few times. We met up outside of work. So again, not in the beginning. We do that after business first, but it is nice to get to know people. If you're talking about Posh or VA, though, the link is down in the description box below. And all the information's on Posh or VA. If you want to search Cayley, Elaine, Posh or VA, you'll see a couple videos that I did on it.
So Thrift wants to know if all the watchers get the same offer, or does it reset? I send offers, but not sure if they keep getting the same offer. They should send the same offer. It should be what you set. So if you set it as 10% or whatever, as Cayley does on eBay, they should all get the same 10%.
Okay. So if you bulk send an offer, they're all going to get that same offer. That offer holds for, I want to say, I can't remember if it's 24 or 48 hours. I want to say it's 24 hours. And whatever that time period is, it's 24 or 48. If that person is still watching your item and you go back to bulk send offers, they will not be in that that round of sending offers. eBay will exclude them because they still have an active offer available, and until that expires, they won't get that same offer. So once that offer expires, they'll be back in to when you pull those, and they'll get whatever offer you send the next time. It just like excludes
Keeps
them.
going.
Yeah.
Are you able to send bulk offers on eBay without a store? I don't know that. Do you know that?
I don't believe so, because I don't think you have the eBay seller hub, but I do believe that eBay, I don't know if this is true because, you know, we have a store and I haven't been on a regular profile in a while, but I believe that eBay said they're planning on changing to everybody getting the seller hub experience, whether you have a store or not, but I don't know when that's going to come to pass. But I would say if you're planning on consistently selling on eBay, I would highly suggest getting a store. Most times it's going to save you money, even if you have a small amount of items. But the starter store, I think, is like $5 a month, maybe 10. It's been a while since I've looked, but to me, it's worth it to have those bulk features because you can get things done a lot faster.
Little Miss Nat, I like to time myself too, especially like listings, because I do, like, I realize I start slowing down if I haven't done them recently. So I like to time myself to see how long those things take.
It's like a challenge.
It is. Like, we need to just do like a YouTube live challenge on who can list X amount of items faster, and then have judges. Like, it'd be so fun.
I think timing is great for new hires too, especially if you have multiple, because it brings kind of a competitive nature, and it holds people, like, you know, again, with setting the pace, it holds people accountable to be like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it.
But it's fun too.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's not like a haha, I'm better than you. It's like, I'm gonna annihilate you. Cayley and I do this. We'll like run the thrift store. And I'm like, you're going down today. I'm getting more than you. And she's like, okay, because she's like, oh, why are you always making this a challenge? But it's like where I thrive is challenges. So, Meg, thank you for watching. I'm glad you've learned a lot from Cayley.
We are nearing almost an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to get through what questions we have. So if you have any questions and you haven't put them in the comments yet, put them in now, because we are going to start blasting through these because we need to get off of here. So go ahead and put them in if you haven't already.
Heidi says having a leader who is willing to do the work with you is huge. So, yes. Kevin, that adds to it. Make sure that you're willing to slow down. Oh, it's raining.
It's pouring.
I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Make sure that you like get ahead so that you can step back the week that they start, or the couple weeks that they start, to plan on spending time. I think we have a couple of videos about what to expect when you're bringing in a new hire. And one of those things is getting ahead. So plan on spending the entire week, if that's what it takes to be with them, and let them know you're not leaving until you feel confident and they feel confident with what they're doing.
There's kind of like, you know, a two-sided sword of that, and Nikki and I, like, we pair each other out well with this, but she is always like, you know, I need to show that we're in it, and I need to do stuff with them, and then I always pull her back. I'm like, okay, well, don't do it too much, because we don't want people to think that, you know, you're going to be there all the time, that they're always going to have that help, that they're not expected to get it done by themselves. So, you know, there's give and take with that. So on the other side of that, make sure you're not, you know, constantly spoon feeding them, constantly aiding them, and yes, you know, find a good balance in that.
Good morning, Thrift Generation. I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad my hype girl's here. Are you selling on Whatnot? We are not. I need to look that up. I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't looked at it. So
we do not plan anytime soon on selling on Whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, I have been tempted, but I also know, like, my heart's telling me it wants to, but my mind's like, no, hold on a minute. We do not have time for this. You know, we talk about sticking to, thank you, Joe. Thank you for the super chat. We talk about, you know, don't start something if you can't fully invest into it. Yes. And that would be taking a distraction away from eBay and Poshmark. But you know what, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been tempted just because everybody else is doing it, and I'm like, I just wonder what it's about, you know. But I feel like in the long run, we would try it, it would fizzle out, it would be time wasted. So
Miss Fancy Pants, have a good day at work. I can't wait for you to come back and watch this video. And Thrift Generation sold my first Nat Nast. When I pulled it out of a mystery box, I knew because of you it was a good one. Thanks for all the videos.
Awesome.
I'm glad you sold it. I hope it was a silk one, and I hope it was one of the, like, what do they call them? Billy something.
Rockabilly.
Those ones are the best.
Yes.
Or the map ones. The map ones are really cool and unique too. Hi, I always wonder if I'm profitable. My listings are pretty much equal with my solds. Does that mean I'm doing good? Thanks so much for your content. Love you guys.
Only you can really know if you're profitable based on how much you're purchasing for the item and what your fees are. But I'm thinking that you probably mean your sell-through rate. If you're selling about as much as you're listing, yes, that is a very good sign. That means you're picking up the right items. That's what people call like reseller nirvana, when you're selling as much as you're listing, which is where we try to stay at.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah, it takes a while to get there. It honestly does. So
that's really awesome, though. I'm excited for you. Congrats. That's something to be proud of. Nancy wants to know how much Posher VA costs. I don't know that. I just keep swiping Cayley's card and calling it good.
Posher VA, they might have upped it. Just, everything's going up in prices, but as far as I know, it is about $20 or $25 a month. And it's a month's worth of time. If you go to other services, sometimes they're charging $25 a week. But the way I look at it is it sends out all my offers, it does all my shares for me, it will drop prices if I tell it to, it'll even return followers and shares and things like that. But it's totally worth it. The way I look at it is, we talked about our minimum, that typically there are exceptions that we want to sell things for 5 into 25. If I just sell one more item because of Posher VA, then it already makes up for paying for that every month. But it makes us a ton of sales, especially with the offers function, where it's sending offers almost right after they like an item, because we're capturing more sales because of that. And then it shares items for us. I can tell you right now, if I had to share my own closet, that would be a full-time job for somebody. Like it would take hours. We have over 5,000 listings right now. Like, oh yeah, it would take significant time. We'd have to pay somebody to sit here and do that, and we do not have that time.
Well, you'd have to pay somebody more than what you'd pay for what you're getting for Posher VA. Yes. So you think nowadays going rate for us is probably $10 an hour for anybody you're going to bring in at minimum, just based on where we're located. If you're talking about 5,000 listings, you're probably looking at multiple hours. You're paying them way more than what you'd be paying in Posher VA to list, and that's every day. So
so link for that is down below. To the person that asked, please do use my link, and there's like a coupon code with the link, because you'll get money off of your first month. So make sure to use that if you are going to try it, and then make sure to use your first week of like free trial period, so you'll get a week of no payment, plus once you start paying you'll get a discount. So save yourself some money.
Kevin, we appreciate your super chats. We do. And you trying to hype other people up to do so. But we're so just here for funsies. Like, y'all don't have to pay us to be here. Cayley pays me to be here regardless. But y'all don't have to pay us to be here. We're just really glad to be able to help other people out and give you guys some of our advice. That's all it is. Ultimately, it's just some advice. So, if you want to help but don't want to open your wallets, as Kevin said, just give us a thumbs up, because we appreciate that just as much.
Like and leave a comment.
Those summer storms, you're right, like it's gone already. I don't know what was going on out there, but it's gone.
You guys don't need whatnot. Yeah, I know, but you get tempted when every reseller on YouTube is trying it and then people are posting about it. If they come and try to sponsor the channel, we'll give it a try. How about that?
Deal.
Okay.
Joe says if it's not broke, don't fix it.
We'll make it work.
You're right. You are right. Thrift Generation, I'm glad that the keyword sheets helped you. If you're ever curious, a good one for Nat Nast is Rockabilly, depending on the print. But that one sells really, really well with Rockabilly. Yeah, Jojo, these girls give from their hearts, and we all know. Oh, you guys are being nice today. I can't even handle it. Like, nobody's eating me alive for my sleeve being rolled up weird or anything today. It's great.
We've had a lot of really, mean comments lately. Like, people harassing us and
I told Cayley,
messages and different things.
I'm just going to start wearing a mask and tell people I'm wearing a mask until people are nice to me.
Yeah. So thank you for you guys'
Thanks.
kind words. We do appreciate it. We try not to let anything, get us down, but when you get like a whole 2 weeks worth of people like being rude to you, it does weigh on you a little bit. So
I saw this one on not Poshmark, on eBay, not eBay. Lord help me, on YouTube, that met somebody. Oh no, it was TikTok. She met somebody in person who like had been following her videos, and they made comments about how she was way fatter than they thought she was, and she was like devastated and took her TikTok account down and stuff. And I was like,
why though?
I would
Why?
literally like just probably punch somebody and go.
Why you gotta do that though?
I don't even know.
There's
but
no point.
We're just humans.
Stop.
If you don't like what we have to say, that's totally fine. Like we're not gods by any means. We're just trying to help you. And what works for us doesn't always work for you. But
we already know that we're flawed. We already know.
Oh, yeah. Lord, y'all have no idea. I could make a heck of a list for you, but we're not going to go there. I admire your success greatly and am wondering if how do you judge how many employees you could afford based on your earnings? Though, oh man, I scrolled.
I got your question.
It seems to be hard to make profit with so many employees. Sorry.
I will say that whenever you hire someone or even just invest into anything, maybe you're investing into getting a building, you're leasing an office space, or you put money into a new photography setup. Whenever you invest into anything, your business is probably going to experience a little bit of a plateau for a while until the things that you're investing into have time to start working for you and start developing, more profit. So anytime we hire, anytime we, lease or, whatever, we do expect a little bit of a lull, and you just kind of have to prepare for that and understand that. I knew that it was time to hire another person again this time around because, again, we are maxed out. And if we don't hire somebody, we can't grow. I have a very high risk tolerance because I have other, just full transparency. I have, YouTube income. I work part-time remotely for my family's business. I have like a couple of different income sources where if I wasn't making money, which I still make money as a business owner in this business, enough to pay my bills, but if I wasn't, like, I'd be okay. So my risk tolerance is very high. So my strategy for growth is to do it as quickly as possible. And I'm okay with that. So when I hire somebody, I know that there's going to be a little bit of a lull. Maybe if I'm feeling the pressure, I'll be like, Nikki, you know what? Let's shop at the bins this week. Let's lower our cost of goods to account for, this new hire being here. And we just kind of adjust as we go. If you're somebody whose risk tolerance is not very high, then you might want to phase that out a little bit, save some money back until you're ready. But I think no matter what, when you invest in somebody, you're going to see a bit of a lull, a bit of a plateau until, again, their performance starts catching up to sales. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a high risk tolerance, definitely hold back some money. I don't want anybody to just be like, oh, they're just willy-nilly hiring employees. They don't know what they're doing. They just do whenever they want. So make sure to really plan into that and make sure you're financially ready. But for us, we know first thing we do is we try to maximize everything that we're doing. Are there steps we can cut out or things we can do more efficiently so that we don't have to hire somebody?
Yeah.
And we can still do it ourselves before. And unfortunately, we have maximized everything.
Yeah, we're definitely there again. We've definitely maxed out the amount of what we can potentially do every single week. We could stay here for a while and just kind of make that plateau and just continue to stay the course of where we are. Or we can take that next step to grow. We mentioned earlier we lost 2 employees. We hired 1 so far who has replaced both of their positions. So at this point, we're still kind of at an advance because we're paying 2 people versus just paying 1 now. So we already have room to bring in somebody else anyways. We've had that, but again, we didn't need it because we had somebody who was doing a really, really, really great job. Now we'll be bringing another person in, which will essentially take that second person's pay of what was going on before, and we'll be increasing again beyond that. So you got to find the right people. That's the first thing. You have to have expectations for that person and kind of know what they have to be able to accomplish for it to be financially worthwhile. But yeah.
All right,
She
let's
said it.
blast through these.
A lot of people have said that they've tried other free programs that show your listings and they're horrible, that it's worth paying for Posher VA, or that they
Yes.
spam your email. So I would recommend Posher VA.
Sometimes it's worth it to pay for the right tools for your business. Posher VA is super affordable. I love Posher VA, so I think it's worth the investment.
Thrift says yes, free is never really free. So even though money isn't coming out of your pocket, time, emails, aggravation, it all costs. You're right, it does.
It's true.
Joe, don't you dare take back your thumbs up. We're always nice. You guys are always very nice. Thanks so much. I'm so wary of any free or program or apps. They have so much to make their money somehow. That's true. If they do have to make their money somehow. So
there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Joe is ready to fight people. Joe and Kevin. We're good. I think people just get bored and they want to like troll and find things.
Yeah,
to
it's
do,
not
so.
like our regular viewers. It's just people coming on to be jerks. We're
to
good.
be fair,
we have thick skin.
If it's a regular viewer and they've said things repetitively, they're not here anymore. So if you're missing some people in the chats, you probably know where they disappeared to.
Okay.
Patchwork Vintage Cuts. Well, I don't have social media. I wondered what you were gonna do. May I say something personal that's a bit sad? Sure, Joe. We're here to support you. Whatever you'd like to say, bring it on. We're here for you. Kevin, I can't say that because Cayley won't let me be a sailor on YouTube.
We can't, but you can.
You can say it, and I appreciate you. Lucia says, thank you, ladies. I have learned so much. My question is, I recently started using Poshmark. I have not made a lot of sales. I have a lot of followers, but no sales. Should I be sending them offers I'm assuming that means every day or every so often. I would definitely be sending offers because Poshmark's one of those apps that you have to send offers on. Everybody's kind of going there for a deal, so price your item a little bit higher and then start sending offers often. I definitely think that draws people to your items. People will like them and kind of, I think, wait for you to send them offers per se, and if you aren't sending offers, then they're probably looking at other places to buy them. It is definitely way different than eBay.
Yeah.
Only because eBay, I feel like, is more of set prices and people kind of barter. But Poshmark people, I think, expect those discounts or expect that bartering.
And we'll just say with any platform that when you start on it just takes time to see sales. So try not to go like crazy on your offers just to move items. Like it does take sometimes 6 months to start seeing, consistent sales and to, sorry, I'm trying to keep with the question here, but to start seeing sales come in. So just stick with it. When you first get on any platform, it's going to be a while. Joe, I did see.
I'm so sorry.
I saw I'm really sorry. I know you confided a little bit in us about what was going on with that, and I'm really sorry.
Me too. That's never easy for sure, and we're obviously here if you need anything or need help with anything. But we are sorry for your loss. So I hate to hear that. I know we've been kind of following along on the journey the last few weeks. You've kind of given us updates on how things were going and left comments for us. And I know we were all praying, hoping that things worked out. And I'm sorry that they didn't.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to give it a moment because I think people are giving their condolences in the chat. But
now get happy again. Joe, you can't drop that on me and like not expect me to want to cry and then be like, now be happy again. Yeah. I feel so bad. I couldn't imagine. I think we all kind of worry about that, especially with somebody that, is so close and you obviously loved. So
yeah, it wasn't unexpected, but even though you're like, you think you're prepared for it, like
you're never.
Yeah, we've been there. Like you're never actually prepared for it. So I'm so sorry. All right, guys. Well, people are giving their condolences in the chats. I am going to hop off here in just a second. We did have one more question that just popped in, so we'll end on that note with some positive help, and then we'll get off here. But Teofilo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, when to send offers and offer bundles on Posh right away. Okay, so you're just giving advice. Then great. No, that is good advice.
It is good advice.
As soon as you can. And that's a good point about the bundles too. Like, it's not just, specific singular likes, but also keep an eye on your bundles. That's something we probably need to be better about, is checking our bundles and the notifications and sending out offers. I don't know. I'm not sure if Posh or VA does a bundle offer.
I don't think they do.
I have to look at that.
I don't think they do, because I think I've seen some bundles come up and like people have created bundles and they've been kind of waiting for us to do those, like do the discounted offer. I haven't seen them like automatically sent. I don't know if Posh or VA can be set up for that, but I don't think we currently do.
I think I would have to set that up. I'll have to look at that actually. That's a good point, but I usually try to keep an eye on it. If I see someone's adding a bunch of stuff, I'll go in and send them a pretty competitive offer. But we also, again, with like having stuff already set in place, we have our bundle discount automatically on Poshmark that we set up, so people have that option as well if they don't want to send an offer.
Joe, that's a good way to look at it. Being loved unconditionally at any point of your life, no matter who it comes from, is a blessing. So I'm glad to see you're like not crawling in a hole. That's what somebody said. I would crawl in a hole. I probably would do the same thing. So I'm impressed at the positivity you're bringing out of it.
Yeah. Raquel, good morning. Sorry you just got on here and we're about to get off, but go back and watch and leave some comments. But yeah, everybody send Joe some love and some virtual hugs, as Bugsy said. And we are going to get off here. We hope you guys have a good week. We hope that you stay positive and that you're having some good sales. And just stay the course, as we always say.
We will see you guys next Monday. So drop some last minute thumbs up before she pushes the button and shuts me off, because she does this to me and then I get sad. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're glad you guys could get on. We will see you next Monday at 9 a.m. Bye. 2 likes, baby.